Hey there friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video I'm doing my top books for 2017, actually my top 5 books for 2017. I know that this is probably a little bit long overdue, but hey ho, I'm only just getting around to filming it. But I'm getting it up eventually and I'm getting it to you eventually, and I absolutely loved reading all of these books last year and I wanted to share them with you guys. Most of them I've actually got full video reviews up for, so if I have, I will link it in the description box so you can check the full video review out. I'm going to start in no particular order and just grab them off the pile I've got them in. So the first book is The Power by Naomi Alderman. This book is amazing. It's a dystopian futuristic book, fiction book, based on if the world sort of flips in a lot of ways. It's a bit of a parody on modern culture and the male-female dynamics. It's definitely not PG, and it just sort of, it's as if the end of the world happens, but it doesn't at the same time. And women get a power. All women get this power, and it's how that sort of changes and influences and really, well, completely just flips the world and life as we know it on its head. And yeah, I absolutely loved it. Like, Margaret Atwood, who is quoted on the front saying it will knock your socks off, and it knocked my socks off. I recommend that everyone read this book because I just think it really makes you think about how life is now, because this is just such, it's so far in the future, and it's like, it's kind of, at the beginning it's set now in our world, in our reality, and then kind of takes you through what might happen if, say, like the apocalypse or something like that goes down, and how women gaining the power completely changes society and life. And it's so good, and the characters in this are so strong, and I just love how there's so many different perspectives are shown and are given, and you can read from so many different characters' perspectives and see so many different people's lives. And yeah, I really massively enjoyed this. I think everyone should read it, although there are parts of it which are adult, but I think that if you are an adult and you're over 16, over 18, everyone should read this, male or female, because it makes you think about the power dynamics in our world, and also how the power dynamics could or might be if things were to change. Next of my top 5 books from 2017 is Only Ever Yours by Louise O'Neill, and this book sort of is, again, a bit of a sort of that's a bit of a commentary on modern life and female representation in modern life and the way that females are treated and viewed. And it follows 2 friends called Frida and Isabel, who are within a world where women are viewed as objects, and you either are a companion, there's like 3 different things that you can be, and women are basically raised, and it's in a way that's all about how they look and not who they are, and they basically, like, it's so centered on female, this world is so centered on female beauty and what men can get from women. They are just men's things, they're objects, they're possessions, they're not humans with feelings, and they are just owned by a man when they hit a certain age, and if not, they are just used by men. And it's a really interesting, like, it's on its own as a standalone, I loved it. It's a really great book. I think it's such, again, another one that's just a really interesting, like, look into our own culture that is just, and it just really, like, mirrors our own world in quite a scary way. It's kind of, again, it's a bit dystopian, but with a lot of modern touches in it, of things like social media and dieting and things like that. But yeah, really enjoyed this. Again, this is another one that I just think everyone should read, because it really, again, makes you think about our world and the way that women are treated and the way that women see themselves. And it's just, it's commentary on 21st century life. It's just fantastic, even though like it is set in a dystopian, futuristic other world. It's just the commentary and the comparisons to our current modern day 21st century life and the way that things work is so great, and I just loved it. And then the next book in my top 5 for 2017 is Ice Cream for Breakfast by Laura Jane Williams. Laura is a blogger, a author, a writer, a teacher, and she wrote this book, and it's basically about how rediscovering your inner child can make you calmer, happier, and solve your bullshit adult problems. I read her first book last year. Her first book was called Becoming. It was amazing, absolutely breathtaking, recommend it to anyone. And this book is just the same. I read this on holiday and read it in like less than 24 hours, and it's basically talks about how discovering your inner child and going back to basics can really make you happier and calmer and really sort of solve your problems. And it's split into like 40 different parts. And the writing is in, so like some pages will have like that, and like quotes will be in different sizes, and it's just, it really makes you think about life. And I find that if maybe, I don't know, maybe if you're just in a strange place in your life, or you're in maybe a season of change, or maybe you're not happy, or stuff in your life is getting you down, this is just one that I would highly recommend. I'd recommend this for everyone. It'd make an amazing gift. It's really not very big. It's one that you can dip in and out of, because the contents page is so great that you can sort of dip in and out and find things which are maybe relevant for you in that moment. But it's just, you know, Laura, when she wrote this, was going through a really bad time, and she ended up nannying 3 little girls, and it's sort of the things that she learnt from them, and kind of makes you think about, like it says on the back, full of spirit and unself-conscious enthusiasm. Ice Cream for Breakfast is a permission slip to exhale for anyone who's ever wondered, is this all there is? And it's really great. I think this would make a fantastic gift. It really makes you think, makes you think about life, makes you smile, makes you laugh, makes you realise there's so much more to life than just what you're going through and what you're sitting through and what's happening in the now, and just really makes you go back to basics and go back to childhood and maybe think about things and deal with things a little bit differently, which I think sometimes something that we all need. And the 4th book I'm going to talk about that's in my top 5 is Control Alt Delete How I Grew Up Online by Emma Gannon. So Emma Gannon is an author and a podcaster who has a podcast called Control Alt Delete, and this book is basically her memoirs of how she grew up online, basically. So for anyone who grew up in the 80s, 90s, noughties, I think, especially if you're maybe my age or a bit older, you'll really identify with this. It goes through so many different things that the internet impacts and affects. So it sort of goes through stuff like relationships, friendships, porn, getting a job, and how the internet can impact and affect all of those things. And it's really great. If you're a child of the internet, if you're a child of the modern age of social media, I keep going honey colour because the book's so white. It's just amazing. I actually ended up using this book for quotes in my dissertation, and you know, she really talks about and tackles what life's like growing up with the internet, and growing up as the internet develops, and growing up in a world where everything is so instantaneous, where relationships can be so complex because of the internet. It's just fantastic. I feel like I'm using that word a lot in this video. And then the final book in my top 5 books that I read in 2017 is kind of a bit of a cheat. So I read 2 books in a row of the same series, and I couldn't choose one or the other. I love them both, so I just thought I would include them both. So when I was on holiday in Greece, I read Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard and then King's Cage by Victoria Aveyard, and these are the 2nd and the 3rd books in the Red Queen series. And the Red Queen series is one that I absolutely love. If you like dystopian, if you like futuristic, if if you like stuff which is set in another world, where it's a bit magical, where people have got powers. So imagine X-Men meets Hunger Games. It's a bit like that. The first book definitely wasn't my favourite at all. But last year, as I said, 2017, I read both the second, this one, and the third book. The third book is like, flip it, honestly, bigger than my head. Second one's normal size. I just thought they were so great. And Mare, who's the main character, and all the other characters really just come out of their shells so much more. And I loved reading them sort of back to back, because they don't have, like, unlike say with things like Harry Potter, where they have maybe a break between each book, like of a couple of months, these follow on straight from each other. And yeah, like, I have never been a fan of contemporary, and these definitely are not contemporary. They are dystopian, YA, and they're just fantastic. Like, it's a series that the first book, admittedly, I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of, but I persevered, and now I just absolutely love it. Like, the world, the characters, the way that the characters are so flawed, like, they're so human. As much as they have these powers and this the system of this world is so chaotic and flawed and bad a lot of the time, they're so human and so relatable and so likeable, and you just really want the best for them and you want to cheer them on. And I just love this series so much, so I just had to include the two together, and this is the full series. So far it's the Red Queen, Glass Sword and King's Cage. So if you've not read these and you're looking for a fiction series that you can really get stuck into and get your teeth into, I would highly recommend this, as this was like my top sort of fiction, dystopian, fantasy reads of 2017. I read Red Queen in 2016, but read the other two, as I say, back to back on holiday in Greece in 2017, and absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved the series. Like, it's just, Victoria Aveyard writes it so effortlessly, and Mare, who is the main character, I just love her. And like, she makes mistakes and she does things wrong, and she doesn't always maybe choose the right path, but she's got like good intentions at heart, and just following her and following her story and watching her as she tries to sort of do what's best for everybody else and for this world, because the world is so sort of messed up, is just fantastic. So those are my top 5-ish books of 2017. I hope you enjoyed this. If you read any of these and got thoughts on them, let me know in the comments. Let me know what your top 5 books of 2017 were. Remember to follow me on Goodreads if you want to see what I'm currently reading. That as always is linked in the description box. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you've got any recommendations for me of books that you think I might enjoy, again, stick them in the comments, and I shall see you guys really soon. Bye.